Hi everyone, it's me, Miss Yolanda, and today we are going to talk about things around our kitchen. Now last week you got to see things in my kitchen. Today we're going to look at cards, and some of these cards are things that we did look at in my kitchen, and a lot of these things look very different from my kitchen, and I wonder if they look closer to things in yours. The first one I want to look at is this one. Do you remember what this appliance is called? Refrigerator, right? And this refrigerator looks very different from mine. Does it look like yours? This bottom part here, that's where we keep our food that we just need to be cold. It doesn't need to be frozen. So things like milk and yogurt, fruit and veggies, they go in this area. This top part here is the freezer, and that's where they keep everything at freezing temperature so it stays frozen, like ice and meat that you want to keep for a long time, frozen veggies, and other things like that. So the whole thing is called a refrigerator, even though part of it is really a freezer. Refrigerator. Do you remember what this one is? Microwave. This one also looks different from my microwave. Does your microwave look more like this one? A microwave is for heating up food quickly. You put your food inside here and you press your buttons for how long you need to cook your food. Some microwaves have buttons that are programmed for the food you're cooking. So if you're cooking popcorn, you might have a button that says popcorn and you can just press that button. And when you put your food in and you press your buttons, the microwave a light will turn on, and there's a plate that'll spin while your food is heating up. And then when it's done, it'll make a ding, some kind of noise to let you know to come get your food and that it is done. Microwave. Refrigerator. Microwave. Do you remember this one? Sink. That one doesn't look like my sink either. Does it look like your sink? This sink is one that you would find in a kitchen, not in a bathroom. It has two places. One can be for washing and one can be for rinsing. So soapy or unsoapy, or one can be for dirty dishes and one can be for clean. You have a faucet. You turn your faucet one way and you get hot water. You turn your faucet another way and you get cold water. And this sink has something mine doesn't have. It has an extra little hose that can spray water. So you can lift the hose up and spray, which is a really cool feature. Does your sink have a hose like that? Sink. Refrigerator, sink, microwave. Can you point to microwave? This one. Can you point to refrigerator? This one. Can you point to microwave? This one. Can you point to sink? All right. Do you remember what this one is called? This one looks very different than mine. This is called a stove. And this stove has an oven right here and a stove top. Now, when we looked at the kitchen, in my kitchen, I did not have a stove. I had an oven top that was a stove top that was separate from my oven. A lot of people have stoves like this where the oven is connected to the stove top. Do you have one like this? Or is your stove top and your oven different like mine? The oven is where you bake food or roast food. You open it and you put your food in and it cooks. And then the stove top, that's where you have these hot circles or squares, whatever shape they are on your stove top. And some of them are lit with gas and they have fire. And some of them just get red and hot like mine. And you cook food on it. Stove. What is that called? That is a pot. A pot can hold liquid, and it normally has a lid you can put on top. Pots are good for making things like soup or boiling water and making noodles, things that have liquid. Stove, pot. Do you know what this one is called? That is a pan. A pan you also put on your stovetop for cooking. And a pan is good for sautéing food, making pancakes, cooking all kinds of things. And this type of pan is a really special one called a cast iron skillet. What's really cool about a cast iron skillet is you could also bake this in the oven. So if you're cooking something here on top of the stove, but it also needs to bake, you can just put your pan inside the oven. Other pans can't do that, but this kind of pan, a cast iron skillet, can. Pan, stove, pot. Can you point to the stove? Can you point to the pan? Can you point to the stove? Can you point to the pot? That one. All right, let's review the ones we worked on. I'm going to hold up a card and see if you remember the name. Are you ready? Microwave. Refrigerator. Sink. Pot. Pan. Stove. How'd you do? Did you get them all right? Did you forget any? All right, well, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.